Tune the universe, be the spine. To stay in place, the planets align. Set to changes, affixed to time. No epiphany. Welcome to Nerds Gone Rogue, episode 120. My name is Matt Keel. Alongside me is Corey Dierig at Corey in HD 86 everywhere except PSN, where he is still the fourth Rogue Spartan. How are you, sir?
That's true. I'm good. The 4 is actually my number in summer basketball when I created that account.
Okay.
So I could still technically be the first Rogue Spartan, but
No, you're the fourth.
thought it was cool.
Being first is too much pressure. You don't want to be the first to anything because no matter what, you're going to do it wrong.
Oh.
Also here is Moose Cool at Svhenn on every social media platform, including PSN and Twitch, which he has been streaming a lot lately. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Doing well.
We've got Andy Cool in the chat. We've got Deshaun Malone in the chat. Everybody say hi.
Deshaun! What's
Hey,
up?
guys.
How you doing, man? I hope Deshaun's doing
Speaking
well.
of PSN names and name changes, I don't think I'm going to be trying to change my name anytime soon.
Oh, you mean because of all the stuff that will break when you do it?
Yeah. Oh, that scares me, man.
I just love how it seems like people had wanted the name change on PSN for just what seems like the better part of 30 years now. And then we're getting it finally. Nobody cares until they figure out that, oh, Sony had not the best foresight in the beginning. So this is what's going to happen when we actually do it. Frankly,
What they should have done is just say, hey, for PS5, we're fixing it. Your names will stay on PS4 and PS3. But for PS5, we're just going to make it a clean break or like make it a, hey, you have this chance to change your name for this console moving forward. But everything else is,
yeah.
I mean,
also just like, hey, we can do it. We can build it in a way so we can bring your trophies and your purchases forward. All that stuff will be backwards compatible anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a way to do this that doesn't make it look like Keystone Cops.
Yeah. Andy chimed in. He said, good for me. I chose a name I like. To be fair, I don't mind the name Rogue Spartan 4. I just, in terms of synergy across all platforms, maybe I would change it. But now I'm not going to. That's all.
Okay.
I do like the name. I don't really even like Corey in HD 86. I don't even know why I changed it to that. Because I'm dumb. I think it's a good idea, and then 3 days later you look at it and you're like, that's dumb. But
I mean, as someone who came up with the dumbest name possible on Xbox and changed it, like I can see a reason to do it, like because a lot of the times, I mean, granted, at the time I did it, like I wasn't thinking like, oh, this is just going to be associated with me forever now. And I was still what, 25, 26 when that happened. I mean, I was still relatively young. I mean, I was technically an adult, but I still don't feel like I'm actually an adult now. But I also my original name was not, lowercase x, uppercase X, Bongmaster 420, uppercase X, lowercase X. It wasn't dumb, but it was clearly something that I just didn't really think about all that much. Because I was after an album I was listening to a lot at the time. I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. And then when I thought of something different, I changed it, and I've kept that. I don't think it's fair to just say, hey, all you idiots who did stupid shit should just live with it. Because, people change, people grow, people learn. Also, by the time you get the ability to change your name, you've probably experienced some consequences. I mean, we've all or at least I know I've brought up Sean Capri's name on PSN here several times because I actually think it's fantastic. But if your girlfriend at the time is playing PSN with people she knows, and your partner's PSN name is that, and that shows up, you're like, oh, Sean's on. That creates some problems. But I'll leave that somewhere else. But people change, people learn, we grow, and I know by the time this goes up, it's going to be dead and gone. But everyone go vote tomorrow. I don't care who you vote for. Just go vote.
Well, if they're watching live now.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys can watch us live on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time.
I actually do that every time I stream now. What are you guys playing? You guys playing anything?
I've played a lot.
Yeah?
I mean, I guess it's been 2 weeks since I've been on, but
yeah, so video games have happened for you.
I finished Shadow of the Tomb Raider extensively. I almost 100% of that game, except for the fact that to get the last two achievements, you have to play it on the hardest difficulty, and I refuse to do that. So, but I did everything else. That is a good video game.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it might be my game of the year so far.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's a good game. Mm-hmm. The final boss is on par to be maybe slightly better than the Uncharted 4 final boss, which was not great. But everything else was great. It was
Does it turn to magic like Uncharted tends
to? Oh, yeah,
or
sure does.
Of course it does.
Magic, undead, zombie-looking things.
Great.
You get magical powers from the sun and the solar eclipse, that sort of thing. It's a good time. You get a magical knife that turns into... It literally turns from a knife to like pure light, and you get to fight with it. So that's kind of, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But, so there's that, and then what else have I been? What else have I been playing? Oh, Valkyria Chronicles 4. I've been playing. If you want something to play that's like for me, it scratches that Fire Emblem itch, although it would probably scratch like an XCOM or Mario plus Rabbids itch as well. Mm-hmm. I like the way you can kind of move your units around the map in kind of real time, where you move them around and you have a meter, and once the meter depletes, you can't move anymore. But then the action turns into like a I guess it would almost be like a real time strategy game, but it's a good game. I'm enjoying it so far, except for the fact that, like we were talking before we started recording, there's a excessive amount of boobs showing up in random places, like at base camp when you're reporting how successful your mission was, and then all of a sudden your commanding officer, who's a female, when she starts talking, the camera pans over her boobs instead of her face. It's kind of weird. But it is an anime game, so
yeah, it is.
You'll have that.
It is.
Not that I'm discouraging people from liking boobs. It was just I wasn't expecting it. We'll just say that when my guy's chilling in a tank with a cool looking dog, the commanding officer starts talking, and then boobs. So. But
the dog's the coolest thing about that. Though.
I know. I took a screenshot of the dog because I started a new game from the demo because I forgot all the buttons and what they did and stuff. Because like when I downloaded the demo, I was like, "Oh, cool! Your progress can carry over. I'll play it as soon as the game comes out." I bought the game and then I didn't play it until after I finished Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so I started over. But cool. I played a lot of that. It's really good. I don't know like how far up on a game of the year list it would be for me. I mean, it's only on a list because I haven't played that many games this year, but I am enjoying it. It's really scratching that Fire Emblem itch. I also started playing The Gardens Between, which is
I have that in my queue too. I have to play that.
You need to play it, Matt. It
looks cool as hell.
It's super relaxing. Like if you want a game to like play maybe 15, 20 minutes before you go to bed, that game is super relaxing.
I could have used that after today's stream, let me tell you.
Like the music is just super like mellow and kind of you just lean back and you kind of want to like close your eyes and listen to the music, but you also want to play the game because it's really cool. The art style kind of reminds me of a mixture between like, remember that game Rime that came out?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me a mixture of like Rime mixed with Wind Waker a little bit.
All right.
And
I mean, all right. As if I wasn't sold already.
And like each puzzle kind of takes place on an island, but like the opening cutscene in the game, you're these two kids in a treehouse, and then something hits the treehouse, and it looks like they fall. But when the kids fall, they walk through a door, right? And every puzzle is an island, but each thing on the island is like something from their childhood. Like there's a giant super soaker or a wagon or like beach balls or, there's something really cool hidden in each island that you just see. And it's like, oh man, that's cool. I remember I could have had that when I was little, or like, you know what I mean? It's telling a little story about these kids' lives while you're solving these puzzles. It's really unique and really just mellow, and it's the type of puzzle game I like to play. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm really enjoying it. I'd recommend it to everybody who likes puzzle games. So I also play a little bit of The Messenger recently.
What do you think about that game?
I mean, it's interesting. I don't really have any affinity for the NES Ninja Gaiden games. So,
okay.
I mean, it looks like that. It feels like that. The music's awesome. From what I did play of the NES Ninja Gaiden games, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a cool game. I've only played about an hour of it, but it's interesting. I know the big twist in the middle is what really makes the game interesting, but for now, like it's a really, really solid Ninja Gaiden type game. So I don't know how much more I'll play because like I feel like the types of games I want to play, this is kind of low on the list right now, especially before like our Game of the Year stuff. But and then I also played Iconoclast, which is a game that I've played probably an hour of, but it's also, man, that's a beautiful looking game with some sweet music and some awesome art.
Yeah,
let me tell you. And I really want to keep playing that game.
It's really good.
It is really good. Yeah. I like the little wrench puzzles where you have to kind of like figure out how to open the doors with the wrench. And then sometimes you got to go down and around and you got to fight some weird puffer monster guy that kind of just like, sometimes he just flips over and you have to like beat him to the button or whatever. It's cool. I really like it. I want to keep playing it. So that's kind of all I've been playing. I've been playing little bits and pieces here and there. I just this weekend was busy, and every time I sat down to play something, it was only for like a half hour or 45 minutes or whatever, the first thing I wanted to do was beat Tomb Raider because I've only beaten one game this year. And so Tomb Raider was my second. So
what was the other game you beat this year?
God of War.
God of War.
Yeah.
Bruce, what have you been playing, sir?
Two things: riddled
Bloodborne?
corpses and Bloodborne. That's what I've been playing.
How's Riddled Corpses?
It's a lot of fun. It's your traditional twin stick shooter, and then like you earn money as you play in the game, and then obviously you get far enough to where you can't progress anymore and you die because it's supposed to be tough, and you just go back and take your money and level up your character.
Right.
And it's got a lot of fun. Some good bullet hell moments to it. It's got a lot of stuff to shoot and kill zombie wise. And so I'm enjoying it. I got it on Vita. It's cross-buy on PS4, and it's the plat is just grindy. Like it's not like oh, this is hard as hell. You just have to earn it however long it takes you to earn the money to buy what you need to do to get to the end of the game and beat it. So I know Jason got the plat for it. So I'm gonna start working towards the one on Vita. I think it's a shared trophy list. He didn't say it was separate. I'm not 100% sure on that, but so I've been doing that, and then
I'm surprised there's still no really good archive of what's separate and what's not. Seems like when you try and go find that stuff, no one really has definitive answers on any of it.
Yeah,
it's real weird.
no, it's like okay, you're like, huh? What do you mean? I guess I could just go look on my PS4 and see if I've earned some of the trophies. Because I played it, I've earned most of them on Vita first, and then I played the first day I played it. I unlocked like 1 or 2 trophies, maybe just one, and then came home and played it because I was enjoying it so much. But it plays really well on the Vita, so it's definitely something you can jump in and have some fun with if you've got like 5 minutes or 2 hours or something like that. If you got a good chunk of time, you'll have fun. If you have like 5-10 minutes, you can do like one run, kind of like Dead Cells, where you can just do like a run until you die, or a couple runs until you get enough money to upgrade your weapons to lay waste to the riddled corpses. But it is. So Bloodborne, been working on the my playthrough of that, the Misadventures of Moose, through some pretty funny clips up on my Twitter account. Like I don't like how PS4 share doesn't allow you to share to both, so you have to pick one. So I'm just putting them over there just because it's fun, and the streamer group, the streamer community that I'm in now, that I'm hanging out with and following, they're more on Twitter than they are on Facebook, or I guess I should say it's just easier to like connect with them on Twitter than Facebook. It's
easier to connect with anybody on Twitter because you don't have to you don't have to find their name, and
you don't have to find their name or anything. You just find their login.
It doesn't require an interaction to become friends. You can just be like, follow.
yeah, exactly. You'd be like, okay, follow. And so like I was sharing them over there, and then today I took Archer to get his teeth cleaned, and I had to pick him up at like 2, so I got out of work early, and so I was like, you know what? I have the research hall and the fishing hamlet for the DLC for Bloodborne to do, and I was like, I'll just see how the research hall goes. So I started it, and then I had one of the streamers that I've been watching who helped me with the beginning part of the DLC was up, because they're like 5 hours ahead of us. But he was like, hey, I was like, hey, you want to help finish this? And he's like, sure. So he hopped on because he was watching, and we were chatting, about the game and stuff. And then so I beat the DLC, and so I guess the next thing will be Chalice Dungeons. But I also started another character, Jim Bob, because I started him for the Return to Yarnum thing, and now he's just taking on a life of his own. like I was gonna stop, but I didn't, and so I just I've been playing with him. I was trying to help another streamer, so I watch this streamer like every day, every week, because he streams from I guess like 8 our time till 12 or something. His name's Richie 2Ts, and he's awesome. He does Bloodborne. He does like different builds. He's not insane like some of the people. Like if you go out there and search Bloodborne, you can watch some of the people who do like limit hit runs, or no hit runs, or the one guy, Lethal 358, 8.5, I think it is. He's doing one where it's like no travels back to the hunter's dream to level up. So like the only time he goes back to the hunter's dream is if he has to, and I think that's the first time, or to get the hunter's chief emblem, and that's it. Like he never goes back, never levels up anything. Like he was fighting Mikolash, and it was a crazy fight. But he sells girls out of his garage. It's EA. It's EAS. Matt, it's EAS because he's British and he likes tea. But anyway, so just trying, just hanging out and doing that and playing Bloodborne so anyways, I was trying to help one of the streamers, and I would realize like how frustrating it is to like have people rush people through games. And so like she's playing Bloodborne for the first time, and I was just like, listen, this is my approach to this. I'm just your pimp hand, okay? Mm-hmm. Like I just follow you around. I'm here if you need help. I'm attack when you attack. I said, but I was like, we move through this world at your own pace, because like this is Hilder's mom, Hilders mom. Mm-hmm. I think she's in their time zone behind us, so she's probably streaming right now. But she wasn't streaming before we started this. But anyways, so she's played her first playthrough of Bloodborne, and she's having a good time. So I helped her a little bit. We did the Bloodstarved Beast, and then cleared out the Cathedral Ward, and then more and more people got in, and I was just like, okay, I'm out. like I was like one of the guys was just running ahead and killing everything, and I'm like getting flashbacks. I was like she's not gonna learn anything. So I like chatted with her this morning. I was like, just create another character and just start playing the game by yourself, and you can stream it. I said, just don't let anyone join you. But anyways, that's what I've been playing.
So in the chat, Deshaun says he's been playing Wolfenstein 2, and
nice.
That's a game. And that is a game. That's an experience, sir. I hope you're enjoying it.
I need to go back to it.
I played a little bit of it on Switch actually too this week. And
do you like it?
I do. I want to look that game. Like, I know Switch probably isn't the place to be playing that game, but like, for what it is on Switch, that game looks amazing on Switch.
Yeah, the fact that those games are running on Switch like at a decent clip, that's cool.
Well, so I was doing a little research because I was watching the cutscene. I'm like, there's no way this cutscene is running this well on Switch like this, right? And so I did a little bit of digging, and I fell down a Reddit rabbit hole, and I found out.
Oh man!
Well, supposedly, I don't know for sure, but supposedly. So you know how the Xbox One and the PS4 versions of the cutscenes are running in engine in real time, right? Well, what they did was they recorded the cutscenes and compressed them, so they're the PS4 and Xbox One's cutscenes as a video compressed onto the Switch cartridge, and that's why there's like an 8 gigabyte patch download when you put the cartridge in your Switch.
Wow.
Because it's running the cutscenes as a video instead of in engine.
I mean, I can respect that level of creativity. Like, hey, we want to make this run. Let's make it run.
That's a good workaround, I guess.
Yeah. Right. I mean, is it going to be something that makes those video gamophiles and specophiles that Digital Foundry drop and chop? Probably not. But at least you can admire the ingenuity.
I mean, I still can't believe they're bringing Doom Eternal, Youngblood, and 3 to Switch. Like, Pete Hines came out and confirmed it last week. He's like, yeah, the next Wolfenstein games and Doom are all coming to Switch. I'm like, oh, jeez.
It's crazy.
And, man, that's insane. I can't believe those games are running on Switch. But... They're good versions of those games if that's where you want to play them. But, that's all I had to say.
Yeah, that's right, Andy. It works. Hey, it works. So that's good.
I mean, so I have really only played Red Dead and Spelunky.
And Spelunky.
Well, you know,
streaming it, man. Come
I know every time I get out, every time I get it,
in the realm of Spelunky, I could say progress is being made.
Yeah, he made some progress today. I was watching him.
No, I get notifications from my Twitch app on my phone all the time, and it says _rewind, and it's like what, like 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
That's about when I get home.
Yeah, that's when he's streaming
time or whatever, and then it's just your face with a dog, and I'm like, oh,
that's Milo. Yep.
Yeah, see, like, it sucks for me because like I have my notifications on and it doesn't tell me. So like I'm always trying to like check Facebook to see if you're on, or like refresh Twitch. You know what I mean? Like I usually run 2 tabs. Like I'll run my own page, which I'm hosting something, and I'll watch. Then I'll run a page with the stream I'm watching, and then I just keep trying to refresh the page that I'm hosting something so I could see if it pops up that you're actually online streaming something, because it doesn't send me those notifications.
I mean, my structure for that is I've always been like, well, what I originally started doing was I was going to do 3 runs in the daily, but then I would do like really well on one of the 3 runs, and then just the daily would be a wet fart. And so then I decided I'm just going to do the daily first. So now I get my wet fart out of the way, and then I'll do really good on a run after the daily.
Get enough wet farts.
Yeah.
Well, you whipped that jumping golden skull thing.
Yeah, that's all Mac. He's a prick.
Yeah. Well, you whipped his ass. You went in there going like, I don't even know if I'll get out of this alive. And it was like, yeah, you did a good job. So.
I'm just like, well, it's just at some point, like I remember I was super tired because Sunday into Monday I stay up all night and play a game or games, and it was just Red Dead this Sunday. And I get to the Spelunky stream and I'm like, man, I felt like completely out of sorts the entire time. And so the daily, I shat the bed there, and then I did 3 runs that I didn't even get out of the caves. And then I'm like, okay, I have time for one more. So I'll keep doing it. And then I beat Olmec, get to hell. But at midway through that run, I'm like, okay, so I know Moose is watching. So I want to make this go as far as I can, just so I can show the chain of Spelunky where you get the eye, the Ankh, and all that stuff. And when I did it, like usually I do it and I die at Olmec. That's tends to be my my MO. But today I'm like, okay, I found the entrance to hell. I'm killing Olmec no matter how I have to do it. I wasted so many bombs doing it, but I did it. And I got to the 2nd level of hell. And I think that's actually the furthest I've been. I don't think I've gotten to 3. I know I've definitely not gotten to Yama. But over the past week, like I've gotten to and beaten Olmec a number of times and gotten to hell. So like steps are being made forward. I'm happy.
Progression. You got some progression.
So yeah. So now I just gotta beat that Yama, and then I can stream something else. And then Red Dead is still really good. I like the memes that are coming out around Red Dead. Like Red Dead is just yeehaw Skyrim, changed my mind.
I saw that too.
As someone who hasn't played Skyrim, but I've played enough Bethesda open world RPGs to be like, okay, there's a discussion to be had there. Is it exactly Skyrim? No.
Did you see the video Kent tag me in? So like the dude's like trying to approach like the rarest horse in the game.
Oh yeah, and the moose kills him.
And then the moose just comes out of nowhere and kills him. And he was like, I said, you don't fuck with my friends, man. That's what happened. That horse was my favorite out there doing.
My favorite is the one like outlandish thing that everyone seems to be getting, which makes me happy because usually stuff like that will happen to someone else and never me. But it's where you're riding along and there's this guy who's having trouble with his horse, and the horse just kicks him. The horse kicks him, like back heel hits face, and this guy is just dead, and the horse just takes off. Like that's the fact that everybody is seeming to get that one. I'm like, I'm glad Rockstar planted that in their game, so everyone can experience that bullshit.
That level of insanity.
Because I saw it in Giant Bomb's face group, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. And then it literally happened to me probably an hour and a half into into Red Dead. I'm like, whoa! And it was just as jarring then as it was seeing it online. I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I got that, because a lot of times I don't get things like that. There's a guy in Fathers of the Grind who has a knack for posting just the funniest shit that happens to him in video games, and that's Clayton Pace. And he's deliberately running around just trying to piss everybody off. Mm-hmm. And like, there's this one where he rides up alongside a cop, hits the cop, and just runs, but he turns wrong and runs the horse into a tree and dies. I just think that's funny. And I'm probably a heartless bastard for it, but whatever.
Nah, it's a game.
It's a game, but like, I will say this for the trivialization that Rockstar Games can do to events like that. They made the horse wrecks like very wrenching. Like there's no easy way to do that. And you feel bad when you wreck your horse. Like I always do. So maybe that's just a me problem. Anyway,
maybe you should watch where you're running.
Yeah. I'm trying, man, but sometimes when you got a $250 bounty on your head and the bounty hunters just decide, oh, now's the time we're going to come and fuck your shit up, and you're in the middle of a forest and you don't want to stay on the road because the trees are parted and it just gives them a nice shooting gallery to kill you. So you take a right and then you're running through these trees and the pattern is not easy to see and you're not always, and you miss an opening. There was one, my first horse in the game died because I was running away from bounty hunters. I got clotheslined by a branch, so I fall off the horse. I don't die there, but I get up just to see my horse get run over by a train. That was
it's horrible laughing at that.
Like I stand up, I'm like, I can get to the horse before they kill me because trees, and then you just see the train just
because like, trees.
Sorry, Tennessee Walker.
Yeah.
Trees. They'll get you.
And you know, I think I fall into the trap that like most Red Dead players have fallen into when you can actually buy a new horse for the first time. Buy it, you name it, kill it within like 15 minutes. It's
like I didn't kill mine, so I've yet to kill mine.
I mean, I didn't try. It just
I'm not saying like you're saying it as in like people get the horse, name it, and then they purposely go kill it.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, I know you meant accidentally, and I'm just saying I have not accidentally killed my horse yet, and I emphasize the yet. I'm just saying because I know it's probably going to happen. 80s in the chat saying Red Dead 2 is an awesome cowboy simulator. Sometimes I don't want to jump in and time dump with it. I think that's why I haven't kind of jumped in with it, just because it's like sink so much time into it. And he says Red Dead 2 equals Westworld ? But
I wish, but no.
Word.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, no, that game is something special. It really is, and it sucks that like everybody that I'm reading that talks about it, you know, you can't. I'm not saying that the labor stuff affects reviews or anything, but
clearly didn't affect the Red Dead reviews.
No, but I find myself noticing the amount of work that goes into making this game good, and you know, and that stuff just weighs on my mind a little bit. Do I feel like a hypocrite for enjoying it? No. Because hopefully the people who were forced into bad labor conditions see a piece of that. I really hope they do. But you know,
they should,
yeah, because this is like
they need a union.
We've gotten 3, new benchmarks for the open world in the last 3 years, and 2 of them came in the past 2 years. So Red Dead being one of them, Breath of the Wild being the other, and then I would say that I didn't play The Witcher, but I've heard enough about it to be like, okay, that's probably something
still in the
special.
cellophane in your backpack?
Huh?
Is it still in the cellophane in your backpack?
It's not in my backpack anymore. It's up on my shelf in my room.
I just remember that episode of Platinum Achievements very distinctly.
Oh yeah. I'm like, oh look, here's
Is that in like Metal Gear or something?
Still.
Good times.
But yeah. But okay, let's lighten this up. We've got a bunch of listener questions, and I just forgot how to speak now. Listeners now. They're listeners.
Nice.
You guys want to answer some questions?
We got listener questions.
Girl.
the accidental Connery. All right, so I'm just going to go down the list
Listener.
here. If you want to send in questions, you can email the show to ngrradiopodcast@gmail.com. You could tweet us at Nerds Gone Rogue.
Good job, Matt.
I think I said it wrong on my stream this morning, but I
It's
get
fine.
it right where it matters.
You'll find it. I mean, everything that Nerds Gone Rogue tweets uses the hashtag NGR Radio, so you'll find us somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, and then if you want to just ask us individually, we announce our handles everywhere. So,
You'll
first
find
up,
us.
Ashley Davidson. What are some of your favorite TV shows on TV right now?
Oh boy. Well, me and my wife have been watching The Good Place.
Okay.
That's a good show. It's a
Mhm.
very the reason why I don't watch a lot of TV is because it's always got some sort of like negative drama to it, or like some kind of downer or whatever. Like, and the reason why I like The Good Place is it's just it's like a feel good show, man. It's just like you just feel good when you watch it, right? And so we've been watching a lot of that, and I actually really like that show. And then we've been watching The Goldbergs.
Okay.
Which is another feel-good show about the 80s, and it's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
That show is way better than it has any right to be, but it's a good show.
It has Jeff Garland in it. Jeff Garland's awesome.
So we've been those are the shows we've been currently watching. I think I know The Good Place is still on TV. I think The Goldberg is still on. I
think it is too, actually. Yeah. Moose, you been watching TV or no? Or I'm sorry, Corey, were you finished? I apologize.
I'm fine. You know what? Moose can go. I'm good.
Damn. I mean, working my.
What was that, Moose? There was an interrupting cow talking over.
Oh, now you're calling me fat? That's rude.
Damn.
I'm not even part of the show anymore.
Because we love you.
I agree with Matt Phillips in chat. Corey listing TV shows to watch as if Golden Girls doesn't exist. That is the only show.
Well, but to be fair, Mr. Phillips, the question is, what are some of your favorite shows on TV right now? There's only one of the Golden Girls left alive. So.
I mean, the Golden Girls is on every morning when I wake up for breakfast. So
syndication.
I would eat my breakfast of it. Yeah, but to see,
I would too. Yeah.
Slowly moving through Daredevil 3, as in I've only watched 2 episodes, and that's pretty much.
I watched like half of an episode. I'm like, I'm not in the mood for this at all.
It's good, but I'm kind of like, what are we doing here? Are we trying to fucking repeat season 1? So I don't know. What's going on. We'll see.
Did they take away his costume, like the red one, and he's going back to the black one?
Yeah, because he can't. Because well, spoilers. If you don't want to listen, stop listening now. But have either of you seen the seasons?
Nope.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I've seen up to I watched Daredevil.
Well, if you watch the end, of Defenders,
yeah,
that's why he doesn't have his suit anymore. So like, yeah, you're right. Like now he's back in his suit from the first season, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see. I hear it's really good. A couple of people, I've seen post on Facebook that it's got a really good ending, and they're doing a really good job with it. So I just need to get back to watching it. So I'll probably watch the rest of it this
anything to
weekend.
say about it, it's going to be gone after the season anyway.
What's that?
If Disney has anything to say about it, it's going to be done after this season anyway.
Which is funny because like Disney's like, oh, it's going to stay here. It's going to stay on Netflix, and it's like, you don't have to lie about it. If you're pulling everything from Netflix, just do it. It's your stuff.
They canceled Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Jessica Jones is rumored to be done after season 3 because the showrunner's leaving, and they're like, oh, why are we going to spend money to keep this show going? They're not going to do another season of The Defenders, so that leaves Daredevil and The Punisher. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's fine. Those are their 2 best shows by far anyway, in my opinion, but
I personally think that Iron Fist is trash. And
that first season was awful. Dude, that first season, I think the CW superhero shows have better production value than Iron Fist first season.
Yeah, I've heard Iron Fist was just straight garbage.
And I'm not trying to shit on the actor who handled the character. Maybe he was playing the character the way he was told to play him, but he was just fuck all annoying. And from what I saw of him in Defenders, I'm like, I am not going back and watching season 1 of Iron Fist.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to go back and finish that, and I was like halfway through Luke Cage, and see, that tells you how good Luke Cage is. I was just like, I don't care to watch the rest of this season 1. So, I mean, anyways, like watching that and seeing what his character was in Defenders, and I'm like, I don't want to watch Iron Fist. And then when they announced Iron Fist 2 was coming out, I'm like, I'm good. Like, I don't need to see this. Like, I think it's hilarious that you guys made a second season. Now, Jessica Jones is good. I like the first season. I haven't watched the second season. Like, I've just fallen behind on the TV shows and whatnot.
I know everybody likes Jessica Jones season 1. I didn't even really care for it, honestly. Like,
I thought it had a great villain.
I don't. Yeah, but at that point, you're like, why wasn't this villain in the Avengers, and why didn't he just like control the Avengers to fight everybody else, right? Like,
because that would be too easy.
Comic books, man.
Yeah.
Look, so Todd Oxshow's poisoned our minds.
So for me, like I'm a cord cutter. I don't have TV, but like stuff I've been watching, I guess you could say of late. And Andy Cluel in the chat did say he never got into Golden Girls. That's fine. I would actually try it. I'm more into it now than I ever was when it was on.
Yeah,
despite loving it when it was on.
As I get older, I learned to appreciate that show way more.
Like, that show is way more adult than.
I mean, I watched it when it was on because I know my grandmother watched it, but I agree. I do have a better appreciation of it now as I'm older. That's kind of like watching movies from when you were younger. You're like, oh, that's actually really funny.
Or that's actually really bad.
Yeah, well, or that's savage. Golden Girls is the epitome of savage.
Oh yeah, they are savage ass women. I love them.
Now I would like to point out that Jack Ryan is really good. I watched that, but that came out like in I think August, maybe.
But
so I mean, that's not like current. Like it's 2 months old, but that's a really good show. But anyways, Matt, I'm sorry to interrupt. You were saying cut the cord.
When we went to Iowa. I got some echoes of the show that Corey mentioned, Big Mouth, and we binged both seasons of that, and that shit is hilarious.
I haven't watched the second season of that show.
Oh man, they go some places, they make you feel some things, and like they reach new levels of just gross. It's great. I've been rewatching Futurama again, and now that Monty Python is on Netflix, I've been watching that again too. But like, I guess with Big Mouth being the most current thing I've watched, actually I've started Disenchantment. I do need to finish that. That's a good show. And then, I mean, I still watch Rick and Morty. My Hero Academia, I'm into the final season that's available right now. As someone who's not the biggest evangelist for anime, I will recommend that because I think it's a good story. I'm going to move on to probably the patient zero of all Nerds Gone Rogue fans, Megan Green.
Yeah,
she's been with us since before Nerds Gone Rogue existed, and she says, as a longtime listener, ever since your days with the DNA Network, I have noticed, as I'm sure other longtime fans have, you guys have evolved through the course of the almost 3 years you have been doing this particular show.
Has it really been almost 3 years?
Yeah, I know, right?
Sorry, everybody.
There are two things I want to know. One, what do you think of where you guys are now with Nerds Gone Rogue shows? And two, is there anything you regret doing, starting, or would you do anything differently if you were starting from scratch again? Where do I think we are at? I think we are in a very good place. Actually, I think the way that Corey wanted to do DNA has actually come more to fruition with Nerds Gone Rogue. And that's just because, we got people that wanted to do it and we said, okay, you want to do it? Do it. That's it. And then, like, for instance, Moose with Nerds Gone Platinum, like, that is their thing. We will not tell them to do anything differently. We will not tell them what to do. And because if we did, I think they'd hate us for it. I don't think Moose would be a co-host here if we did that shit.
Yeah, you would. Look at him.
I got suckered into this and I just can't figure it out. Someone's got to keep this on track.
I'm just staying here because I'm a man of principle.
Yeah.
But like,
I got asked to do a thing and I'm a man of my word.
But also like we've also just sort of stayed true to we all have personal lives and jobs, and we don't need to try and make this another job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, when we kind of started doing like all these spin-off things and whatever, I was like, look, I don't want anybody to feel like they're obligated to do something, right? Because a lot of us are parents. Some of us, have ridiculous work hours. Some of us have significant others we want to spend time with. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't want anybody to feel obligated that they needed to do something that they didn't want to do, right? And that was always kind of like what burned out DNA, I think, is like everybody. I feel like everybody felt like they had to be there instead of wanted to be there, and that's something I always regretted about that. Was like making everybody feel like they had to be there, even though like I didn't want them to feel that way. It just kind of like that's kind of how it felt to me. Even today, I still feel that way. But I am really happy with like what's going on with Nerds Gone Rogue. Like, this show is kind of coming to its own, and Nerds Gone Platinum is taking off faster than anyone expected it to. Like, I was looking at stats today, and like Nerds Gone Platinum is our number one show right now.
Good for you guys. Congratulations.
And I just like part of that's probably because PlayStation's the number one selling console and it's a PlayStation podcast, but the other big part of it is like they all put a lot of work and effort into that show and that channel, and it's becoming bigger than, it's already become bigger than this show, which is the main show. So and that's probably expected. We saw that jump in Nintendo Power Block 2 when the Switch came out, and when we saw it again when Mario Odyssey came out, and I'm sure we'll see it again when Smash comes out or something else big comes out. But like, PlayStation's got that consistency, and they've got the consistent third-party games, like major third-party games. Not that like
we also have to really just we have to point out just the big shining light of Nerds Gone Platinum, and that's Jason Marshall.
Mhm.
Like he's really just taken command. He took what seemed to be like an aimless ship. He got on Jeff Glasson, and they've gone after guests. Moose is all right.
Yeah, it's like what they're doing with Nerds Gone Platinum is what I would really like to do with Pal Block, but it's really hard when half the time we have to record at like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, because Ed and Jesse both work at night.
Yeah, they're I know Jesse's a day sleeper, isn't he?
Yeah, and like we've started to move Pal Block to like 1 or 2 in the afternoon on Saturdays, but even if we were try to get a guest, nobody wants to spend the middle of the day doing
on a Saturday,
like that, so it's like I'm not saying that their work schedule's like it's screwing over our show or anything, and I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying like if we wanted to get guests, that puts us in a harder.
It's a disadvantage. I mean, the same thing here. Like we get our fair share of guests, but also Monday nights are difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even like if we didn't, even like not getting big like developers and stuff on here, even with guests in general, like trying to get somebody like Todd on here. He has a almost teenage kid who's into outside activities and stuff like that.
Stuff to do.
Yeah. And that's something I still think like I think we all do pretty well is balance time, and well, I don't, but that's
you're getting better though. You've been steadily getting better since we started.
Not this weekend.
No, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I recorded over 20 shows this weekend, so I mean,
Jesus.
Don't
do that next weekend. Take a weekend off.
Well, I mean, my wife was out of town this weekend, so I kind of had the time, but I'm happy at where we're at. If there's anything I regret doing, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of ideas that I feel like I have to try to capitalize on, and then there's too many ideas and not enough time, especially now with the kid and stuff. Like I regret not streaming more. I regret that I don't write anymore. Like that's just something I don't do at all anymore, and it sucks. Like it really sucks.
Yeah.
But I love the podcast. I love doing it, and like that's just something that we do, and I've done better at like not wasting my time, or not wasting my time, but not doing things that I think I should be doing. But
you're better at doing things you want to do rather than doing something just because you think you should do it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I still don't think that's true either, but I tell myself that. So,
well, you and I suffer the same affliction. We're both way too hard on ourselves. Moose, do you have any thoughts? Nerds Gone Platinum's #1. Suck it.
That's
really good for the audio listeners, Moose.
Shut your head.
The other thing.
Go ahead.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is like, I not in like a, I don't want you guys to like take this the wrong way, but like I've kind of taken the third seat on this show, and like, I feel like this is like something that, makes the show better. Is like Matt and Moose like lead the conversations a lot of the time, and I just kind of like pipe in when I.
You're the salt and pepper to our steak and potatoes. Yeah,
so, and like
maybe
I'll take that. I'll be potatoes. I'll take it.
And like
I was gonna say you were the steak. I'm just the side dish over here.
When I was looking at the numbers today, and I was kind of going through Nerds Gone Rogue in particular because Podbean kind of offers a little bit more of a in-depth look than the other feed that I use for the other shows, and it's like the shows that you're not on, Matt, do significantly worse. Like,
I don't believe that.
And like, I mean, I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm saying, like, you know, that's what the show is. You are the show. Like, you and Moose are the show. And it's like the week that you were out, right? Like, and I hosted, like, that shows not only were like the download numbers were similar, but the listening time was significantly down. And like, there's something else there too that was like really weird.
There's something a hero of mine once said. His name is Joe Strummer. He was the lead singer of The Clash. May he rest in peace. He said, when you fuck with the chemistry you have, that ruins everything. And this show is all three of us. I know Moose wasn't here at the beginning, but this show didn't become. I felt like the 32 episodes before we had Moose were still just us trying to figure shit out and still trying to figure out how we wanted to do a podcast. And then Moose showed up, and then all of a sudden, like, gears locked in and a machine started moving. So like this show is all three of us. It's not me. It's not Moose. It's not you. It's us. And I wouldn't have it any other way unless, you know, circumstances force that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that there's gonna come a time where one of us will have to take time off again, just because that's the nature of life. But I'm going to always work to readjust so all three of us can do this together. Because if I had any regrets, it would be trying to move any one of the three of us out. And I wouldn't do that for anything. I wouldn't do that for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna move on though.
I just want to say one more thing before we go. It's short. I just, you know, I wanted to podcast because I know I'm not great at having conversations with people, and it's something I wanted to, you know, I don't know if getting better at is the right word, but like, I don't know. I still, like, sometimes I feel like I overthink a lot of things, or when I'm talking to somebody, sometimes I just don't know what to say, you know, and it's just like, I wanted to podcast because I wanted to get better at that. And like this show and all this stuff has kind of really like helped me in the long run with a lot of things. And I mean, not just interacting with people in like a semi-normal capacity, but other things too, you know, like things outside of video games and podcasts and life that, you know, I don't tell very many people about, or, you know, just things in general. And, you know, that's why I love doing it too. Is like, you know, friends, good times.
I'm 100% with you. And I think you experience some of the anxiety that I do every time I go on a little like soliloquy by myself, and I just see you two looking at me. And
that's how I feel every time I speak on the show. It's like I just see you guys looking at me. I'm like and I'm just like, and I just get in my head, and I'm like, you're fucking this up, Matt. What are you saying? What are you saying? Are you gonna finish? Are you done? And all I see is you guys just blankly stare. I'm like, I gotta just stop now. Yeah.
All right, so the next question comes from El Capitan of the Phoenix Overdrive Nation, Ray Osorio. What character in a video game you love seems mostly misunderstood, or have their motivations misunderstood? I'm guessing that's supposed to be has. Kind of under the labels anti-hero or a protagonist that also fits the antagonist label, and vice versa.
Waluigi.
I mean,
Just kidding.
give Waluigi a game. Bowsette. No.
Oh, geez.
Moose, you have any thoughts here?
Can't wait for that fan fiction graphic novel on Vita.
Waluigi and Bowsette take over the world.
I can't really think of any off the top of my head. Where it's where they could be both the role of the protagonist and the antagonist, or I don't know, where their motives are misunderstood.
Luigi.
Luigi just wants to be bigger than Mario.
Specifically in Mario Kart 8, Luigi.
God, yeah, dude.
I just think Luigi doesn't want to be picked on anymore.
I think he's tired of everyone.
Did you see him in the Smash commercial, the Smash Direct? Where like everybody dodged the thwomp assist trophy, and then Luigi runs under it, and it smashed him. Like, come on, man! Stop picking on Luigi.
For me, cool. Like when I read this question, all I could think of was Claptrap.
Oh God!
Ooh,
like
that's a good one.
Like I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's on.
He's just trying to make friends. I am on
board with Claptrap, and I don't know why he gets so much shade.
He just wants to be people's friends. He wants to have friends, and everybody's like, no. Like, I felt really bad for him in, what was it, Borderlands 2, where he had his own party and he had pizzas, and it was like...
And no one would high-five him, like...
Yeah, I was like, I'll high-five you, bro. What's up, man?
I'll high-five Claptrap all day. All day.
Yeah.
I mean, based on Mega Man 11, I think Dr. Wily is a bit misunderstood. Like, he was just trying to move things forward. And everyone's like, no, Dr. Wily, you do not have good ideas. And he's like, well, I'm going to create these gears and I'm going to blow y'all minds up. So yeah, the entire Mega Man series is basically a temper tantrum. Yeah, I had a hard time. Other than that, I'm like having a hard time really getting into this question. I mean, I guess Geralt from Witcher is probably a good example, just because he's just doing a job.
Yeah,
while everyone hates him. Deshaun Malone is in the chat and he says all three of you are why I started watching. You guys become part of my weekly routine and my work life, basically my white adoptive bros. I will take that.
Thanks, man.
That. Thank you, Deshaun. Thank you very much.
I'm glad we could help your week move by a little bit easier.
Yes.
Or slower, depending on how the show's going.
Let's see. I can't think of any others like right off. I mean, I guess you could say that the Helldivers as a collective are misunderstood. In so much that they are basically genocide merchants.
And that's pretty much true. They are.
But they are understood to be the saviors of the galaxy when really they are just out to murder everything.
I mean that falls into the same category of the Hunters in Bloodborne.
Yeah, that's true.
They're the same type. It's the same type of situation where, they're trying to prevent stuff, but something.
Same with the Vile Bloods.
Yeah, I mean it's just funny. You're just like, yeah, you're actually the villain in Bloodborne, but
Yeah.
Is that true?
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially,
really
yeah. You're the villain.
Interesting.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to Matt Phillips with Blizzard announcing a breakfast.
No headset, no question.
Huh?
Oh,
no
shit.
Headset, no question.
Oh shit! Oh, shit.
No, I think he's basically taking shots at Ed Varnell from a previous Pow Block.
He is.
With
I take shots at every Pow Block. Just wait till tomorrow's episode. Oh my gosh.
With Blizzard announcing a breakfast cereal crossover at BlizzCon, is Ed's dream of a gaming food crossover finally realized?
I mean, that happened with the Super Mario cereal because it's Nintendo and food.
Yeah. I remember that episode where he's like, maybe Nintendo branded pudding pops. Like, nope, we did not do that anymore. So we're just gonna move right past that.
Oh man,
even though it's probably.
I have been thinking about Overwatch a lot lately and how much I want to.
Ed's just gonna say, "Well, I don't want a Borderlands cereal." That's what he's gonna say. That's exactly what he's gonna say.
We had it, dude. Just listen to tomorrow's Pow Block. I'm not kidding. Like the last half hour, it gets real loud.
Awesome. And then in the chat, represented Andrew Kluel is the negative reaction to Diablo Immortal overblown. Is there any hope for Diablo Immortal? Overblown, yeah, because
Con is not the place to announce a mobile Diablo game.
Yeah, no.
It's overblown because everybody came in. I mean, it's literally the No Man's Sky. Everyone came in wanting Diablo 4. They got Diablo Mobile.
Well, they said they weren't announcing Diablo 4.
They said it a week before. Like they waited too long to say that. Because I think months ago they said they have 4 Diablo projects in the works, and when I read that, I'm like, oh, they're bringing Diablo to iOS. I bet you that's what's happening. And and then the week before they said, oh yeah, Diablo 4 not being announced, and now they're coming out with stories saying the announcement for Diablo 4 was pulled from BlizzCon. I think it is definitely overblown, and anybody who reads that they had 4 Diablo projects in the works, and if you didn't think one of those was mobile, shame on you.
Yeah, that's true, because that's a lot of titles.
Yeah, I mean they're not just developing Diablo 4, 5, and 6 and 7. They're not doing that, and I don't think a port of Diablo to a console of a new Diablo 2 Switch or whatever counts as a project, because you can outsource a lot of that. I'm not saying they did. I'm saying you can.
Diablo 3 on Switch, by the way, looks real nice.
Yeah. Good. That Diablo 3 Switch looks pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. UI though, a little small.
Yeah.
Could just be because I'm old and my eyes don't work, but
well, it's good. I mean, it's going to be real small in handheld mode. I'm wondering how it'll work with like an 8-bit dude. That'd be cool. You guys have any other thoughts here, or should I just move on to Jesse?
I just wanted to say it's not surprising they had announced a mobile. I think it's just everybody's just, like you said, just disappointed, because it's like, oh, we want new Diablo, and like Lee Navarro pointed out in Phoenix Overdrive Nation, hey, there was a 12-year gap between 2 and 3, and what has it been? How long has it been? It came out in 2013, so it's been 5 years. It's not even this year. We're a year under halfway into, So I mean, if we're going off anything, it could take that long to get Diablo 4. But then I don't think they'll take that long, because now that Blizzard is owned by Activision, I think Activision's going to push them to be a little bit more speedy
fiscally
with their
productive.
releases. Fucking productive. So and I mean, Diablo, in my personal opinion, it's best on console. I love it on console. It's a lot of fun with a controller. I'm jumping back in to finish up the Necromancer trophy so I can 100% the game, but I saw that it was going to be on mobile, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, that's cool, because I think what happened was I didn't get myself psyched up for a Diablo 4 announcement.
Yeah,
I think some people did, and that's why there was a problem. If you didn't do that, you just kind of what you have to do is you got to sometimes ignore the stupid ass gaming journalism that's out there. Like I'll read.
I don't think this
the
is
headline.
I don't think this is the journalists. I don't think this is.
And be like,
I think this is just fanboys.
Well,
I think.
I mean, it's the news that it might be coming. It might be coming.
Oh yeah,
because they want to create clicks and all that shit. And that's the problem. And I don't listen to that. I'm just like, okay, well maybe there's a Diablo 4, announcement, and if not, then that's okay. And then they announce that there's not going to be one, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And then they're like mobile, and it's like, okay, well my Pixel can play that game, and that's going to be cool. I can play Diablo on the go, and it's not on my Switch. Like I don't have to take my Switch with you. I just pull my phone out of my pocket and play.
I remember the last time they announced a mobile game, and everyone thought it was going to be garbage. And it turned out to keep my attention when it came to iOS for years. Hearthstone. So give them a chance.
Phillips is in the chat. They said ahead of time not to expect Diablo 4 at BlizzCon. Diablo Mobile sucks. But what are you going to do? And he's like, and I love that series. You're talking to a guy who spent an entire day downloading the 500 megabyte demo for Diablo 1 on his Pentium 133.
Hell
I love that series, but it is what it is. And I agree with him, and he's like, I'm with you, Matt. Diablo 1 blew my mind back in the day. My issue is microtransactions. It would probably be free to play. Yeah.
So is Hearthstone. I mean, Blizzard tends to approach that in a good way, I think.
Well, I think if they deal with the microtransactions properly, I think they'll
I have
full
faith in them.
Yeah, in them, yes. Not so much like other people, like Ubisoft.
The thing is too, is like, I know Activision and Blizzard are owned by the same parent company or whatever, but I don't ever see Blizzard like taking orders from Activision the way that studios do from EA or something. Like I think Blizzard still is treated as their own separate entity, and they know they have a passionate fan base, and they know they make quality games. That's why we don't get sequels every 2 or 3 years. We get them every 6, 8, 10 years.
Because they're like the Rockstar.
I mean, look at World of Warcraft. It's been out there for 15 years at this point, and I mean they're still supporting that. And I know like the game's been updated and patched and expansions every other year or whatever. But like the point is like that game still is fun to play, and people are still playing it.
Yep.
I assume it's fun to play. I've never played it, but
Okay, so I'm going to move on. Jesse Douglas asks, what is one of your favorite video game worlds or places? And if you could, would you go there?
Horizon has a good world, and I don't think I would go there because I don't want to be crushed.
I need to get stopped out by a Thunderjaw. No, I don't need that.
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, like, are we talking? We're going there like the hero of the game that we play as when we play that game.
No, you're going.
Or we're just a civilian.
I think
in
it's
that
just
world.
like you're just going there.
You're
just a civilian in that world.
Just packing a bag.
We're gonna start photo mode, and we're gonna take meme moose pictures in this world. And it's gonna be a Kingdom Hearts situation where you go to that world and you're automatically in that art style, and maybe have 45 zippers.
Moose being chased down by a Thunderjaw.
No,
Somebody hold my beer so I can take care of this Thunderjaw.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Chasing the Thunderjaw. Give me my Thunderjaw juice.
Skyrim.
Okay.
Give me my dragon juice.
Just I'll be a blacksmith or something. You know
what goes good with beer? Dragon blood.
Dragon blood orange IPA.
Yeah.
Make it a milkshake.
You want some cheese with that dragon's blood?
I would wander around the world of Shadow of the Colossus.
Ooh, okay.
Mainly because I like looking at nature. I think nature's pretty cool. I would also wander around Red Dead Redemption.
I was just gonna ask you. You're like Major's cold of like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I would go to Red Dead Redemption. I would also stay the fuck out of everybody's way.
Captain Canada said, "I used to be a podcaster like you until I took an arrow to the knee."
Arrow to the headphone, more like it.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's see. I think I would go to Rayman Origins or Rayman Legends.
Would
Just
you
for the-
have arms, or would it just be your body?
No, I would just go.
And
I would
your
just.
feet.
I would be me wandering around that, just looking, be like, "Hey, this music's pretty cool."
Where's that fan art
Yeah,
of Matt with no limbs, just hands?
just a head and hands.
that would be hilarious.
And then I'm going to move on to the host of Last Life podcast, Kenny Hall.
Woo!
What game
Kenny.
series do you want to see brought back from the dead?
Quick note: Deshaun says Twisted Metal for a game world he wants to visit. And I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to do that. I mean,
Well,
unless
that's
you
scary.
like cars, you just want to crash stuff. But I mean, the Grim Reaper's alive in that world. I don't know. That's Sweet Tooth. I mean, I just want an ice cream cone.
I'd go to Burnout Paradise. I'd go to Paradise City as long as I could drive.
Okay.
As long as I could drive, I would go to Paradise
No,
City.
you would be the car.
I mean, even better.
I don't think he's gonna. How would that would probably be? I was just gonna say that's like 10 times better than being the driver. I'm just gonna be the car.
They didn't render people in
real-life
that world.
version
There's
of
no
Cars,
people
the movie.
in Paradise City at all.
It's like with a real life version of Cars, the movie.
Yeah.
So what game series do you want to see brought back from the dead?
Jeez.
Time Splitters 2 or Time Splitters.
Urban
Whatever.
Champion.
Urban Champion.
Urban what?
Urban Champion.
What the fuck is Urban
It was a
It's like a
Nintendo.
really crappy NES game. It's like it's the first game Nintendo brings out on every virtual console.
Yeah. It's like,
That's
remember this
funny.
game that was befuddling to you then? It's still crazy now.
I'm surprised it wasn't part of the Nintendo online games that we got. That's funny.
It probably is. It's just real small icon at the bottom.
Yeah. It's like, hey, it's here. Video game series I think the obvious one is Castlevania, like good Castlevania.
Ooh, yeah, that would be good.
Because I never played either of the Lords of Shadow games, but like one got enough praise that I was interested, and then two just
The 3DS game was really bad too, by the way.
what?
The 3DS game was really bad too. The Lords of Shadow 3DS game. I don't remember why I had it, but I had it. It was bad.
I would have. I kind of want to just be a dick and say Metroid, even though I know another one's coming out. But like, I want that to.
That's
I want
Prime.
I want that to
Prime
be
4.
good. Like, I want that to be good again.
I want Super Metroid 2.
Yeah.
What about oh crap! Now it just escaped me. Never
I
mind.
mean, they're saying Dark Souls is done. I'd like to see more of that, but I don't think we're actually done there. I think the next thing From does that's not after Sekiro will probably be reference Dark Souls in a way.
Captain Canada brings up some good games. Games I want back.
Max Payne,
Legacy of Kain, though. That's a good one. That would be cool. Okay, so there's two there because you could do Legacy of Kain in that style, or you could do a Soul Reaver. Like you could do the two because as far as I know, Legacy of Kain, if I'm not mistaken, was isometric, kind of Diablo-ish, and then Soul Reaver went third person with the camera behind you. So it was kind of like two different styles of games, and so you could stick with those.
Kain and Lynch.
No, those were trash. Why would you want to bring those back?
Why not?
Kane and Lynch spawned his favorite podcast. Right, man.
Oh, that's why he's gotta love it so much.
What?
Okay.
Giant Bomb?
Yeah.
No, that didn't spawn that.
Yeah, it did. That's why they started Giant Bomb.
No, GameSpot getting firing Jeff Gerstmann is why Giant Bomb started. Come on.
Over the Kane and Lynch review.
Was it? Oh, really? Was it the Kane and Lynch?
That's why he got fired. Why do you not know this?
Gosh, Matt. Did you not listen to the 400th episode of
I
Giant Bomb?
did actually. I've listened to it multiple times.
Or whatever.
But he didn't
What
really
kind
talk.
of fan is he?
I
Oh,
don't know.
shut. You know, I'm not going to take that criticism from you, Moose.
He's a
No,
poser.
You'll take it. You'll take it and you'll like it.
Sam Hall, would you guys ever consider doing best of episodes? What about best games of generation episodes?
Best of.
Now, if it's a best of, like a clip show, that's
Look.
time. That's more time than
Well,
any of us has to put.
You want the best of Nerds Gone Rogue? Listen to the next episode.
Yeah, it'll be better. We promise.
Mhm. We get incrementally better.
I've thought about doing the best games of a generation episode, but I want to wait till this generation's over.
Yeah, I thought about it too.
And I think that's probably would be the best way to do it. I mean, we could say, let's talk about the best games of the NES generation. That requires research that I don't have time to do. And it requires me to play games that I probably didn't play back then.
Mhm.
I could play because if you want to talk
And have
about,
you tried to go back and play NES games you have no nostalgia for lately?
yeah, it's not fun.
No,
No,
NES is not a
No.
great system.
it's
to go
not
back on.
like it's one of those things that like I am glad I had it. I'm glad I played it, and I love a lot of those experiences. But I don't want to play some of those games anymore. Not every one of those games was Mario 3. Like it really wasn't.
For every Mario 3, you get Urban Champion.
A bunch of times.
For every
so
Mega
yeah,
Man, you get stadium events.
probably by the time PS4 has moved on, we will probably do a best games of this generation. But I don't think we would look back and try. I don't
Yeah,
want
and
to try.
I think we would just make our own lists. I don't think we would try to make one huge conclusive list.
Yeah,
right?
because we don't play everything. We don't have time
And
to
we,
play everything.
and we don't play the same thing. Well, you and Moose play the same things, but like
Yeah,
my list would be
Ooh.
very different from your guys' lists. You
that's
know,
true. That's true. Tomb Raider everywhere.
Fez. Bring back the Fez
I'm
series.
just saying, Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider would probably both be on that list for me. These games are good. They're good games.
Todd Oxtra.
Woo!
What video game characters would you elect for president, vice president, and cabinet positions like Secretary of Defense, etc.? President Mike Hagar?
Solid Snake.
Nope.
I'm trying to think of.
I feel like Secretary of Treasury, you can't really go wrong with Tom Nook.
True. Fair.
I feel like you would either that or you have the shopkeepers from Spelunky where you come near their money, all of a sudden they're just running after you with a rifle.
Secretary of Defense.
Helldivers. All of them.
Who's the leader of the Helldivers? That guy.
The Helldivers.
Mr. Helldiver.
Yeah.
Commander Helldiver.
Jimmy Helldiver. Let's see. And another. I'd put Roland from Borderlands in a presidential position. I'd put him on the ticket. I like
Yeah.
Roland.
He's the soldier from the first game, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. I didn't play very much Borderlands. I've never really been into Borderlands. I tried.
What? Oh, so good.
Borderlands is really
good.
I tried. There was a Ninja Turtles reference in
Wait,
Borderlands.
we could have the king from Katamari Damacy be president because all he's doing is telling you to roll around and going, caramels are yummy.
Sounds like our current president.
Yep. Same policies too. It's weird. Build a wall, roll over it.
Same orange color too.
Let's move on. Ed Varnell again. Could you see a business like Audible coming to the eShop? Now, eShop, is that Switch or is that just 3DS?
That's Switch.
Okay.
I mean,
Yes,
I think
I'd like that.
I mean, there's a comic reader on Switch, so I don't see why Audible couldn't come.
Yeah.
I think the thing about Switch's online infrastructure, if that's what you want to call it, is not capable of the same things that Xbox and PlayStation are. You know, you can't really like, you know how PlayStation and Xbox, you can run Spotify in the background or you know, some of these other podcast apps or whatever in the background while you're playing games and stuff. It's
not on Switch.
Switch, I don't think you can do that. Although they did say if you're playing games, you can listen to the entire Super Smash Brothers soundtrack while you're playing other games, if the cartridge or you have it downloaded onto your Switch.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. In that it makes no fucking sense.
I know. You also need to use the phone app for voice chat, except for Fortnite. You can just put your headset into the system.
Yep. I mean, it'd be cool, but at the same time, you'd have to make sure that stuff is downloaded, because I don't know if that's streaming or if it downloads to your device.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, though, I mean, I think enough people have smart devices or anything that they want to read on or listen to stuff. They just use that instead. Like, not taking anything away from having that on Switch, and I think it's a cool idea. I just don't know how many people would really utilize it.
Yeah,
especially if you have a tablet or a smartphone or you know, device that connects to the internet at all. So.
And considering when you're not in docked mode, connecting to the internet has to be done a certain way.
It's a good time.
Like you have to be in Wi-Fi. You can't just, it's not connecting to by LTE. I mean, unless your phone has a hotspot on it, which is kind of expensive to my knowledge. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I think it's like an extra $30 or $40 a month.
Yeah, I'm not paying for that.
That's like 3 indie games.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's our Ed's was our final question. I kind of blew through the last few because I have a hard out. So no 20 questions this week.
Matt Phillips said President Duke Nukem.
No.
Vice President Luigi.
White
House Press Secretary Deckard Cain. Yes. Stay a while and listen.
Well, I was thinking during the Diablo, what if they announced a Diablo Battle Royale, but it would just be 100 Deckard Cains dropping onto an island and going, stay a while and listen.
Secretary of Defense, Doom Marine.
Yeah.
That would be horrible.
Doom guy. I can't wait for Doom Eternal.
Hope Doom guy.
That's out. I guess they're trying sometime next year, right? They haven't given a window, just 2019. Yeah, cool.
Rage 2 looks cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. In all honesty, it's on the back burner for me unless it gets really good reviews.
Definitely waiting for it to go on sale.
Oh yeah, because there's no co-op. There's no reason for me to buy it and jump in day one.
That is so dumb. That game. That game.
It was great. It would have been great for co-op, especially when you watch that first trailer that they showed where it showed legit gameplay and you're like, oh, this would be awesome to run around with my friends and play. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's single player. And you're like, okay, well, I'll wait for a sale. I lost some sales.
I even think Doom would be fun co-op also, but
I agree with that. Maybe they are doing that for
I miss good co-op
Eternal.
First-person shooter campaigns.
Yeah.
Borderlands. Play some Borderlands with me and Matt.
Campaign, Borderlands, yeah.
I could have swore we were going to do some videos.
We were. Matt got a new job, and now we can't.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I was trying to blame you, but it wasn't you.
It's my fault. Matt got a new job.
Yes.
No. Because I was like,
Corey.
It's like fucking Corey.
Doesn't
like Borderlands.
All right. So that brings, with all the questions answered for now, that brings us to the end of episode 120 of Nerds Gone Rogue. If you want to ask us a question, email us, ngrradiopodcast@gmail.com. Tweet at us at Nerds Gone Rogue. Or if you want to get at us individually, I am at @infinite_rewind on every social media platform I choose to accept. That includes Instagram, PlayStation, Twitch, Twitter, all that. Corey, or actually no, Moose, where can we find you?
Matt doesn't want people to find me. It's fine.
Shut up, Corey.
Dang, he's even harsh, man.
Moose?
Svhenn on PlayStation, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. You can find me, Jason, and Jeff chatting about the PlayStation platform. We record Tuesdays around 9-ish, and then the video goes up Thursdays at 7 or 8 with Nerds
Is this
Gone
supposed
Platinum.
to go up? Because it never comes to iTunes on Thursdays.
I'm not.
It's because I don't get the file until I'm at work. It needs to be uploaded on Wednesday night so I can download it and put it up.
Oh, okay.
Well, then maybe I could talk to Jason about that and see how. Works.
It's nobody's fault. It's just like by the time it's uploaded and ready to go on YouTube, I work at 7, so it's like.
Right. Yeah, you can't do a lot in the morning. You just have enough time to get up, feed yourself and your kid.
Yeah. And this wasn't like I was just actually asking. I wasn't like trying to hold anybody's feet to the fire. But
sounds like it,
right. Right or no.
Thanks for blaming me. Yeah. Jerk.
Corey.
Anyways, you can email us questions, comments, and current concerns at nerdsgoneplatinum@gmail.com. Tweet us at NG_platinum, or you could we're on Instagram. Follow us at nerdsgoneplatinum. I don't know the fucking number, Matt. So don't stop trying to make the phone call signal.
Well, you guys don't know the number.
We have the number. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Have you heard of a new invention called the Post-it note?
Or the notepad on your fancy Google Pixel. I know there's one on there. My wife has one.
Corey, take us home.
You can find me at CoreyNHD86 on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on twitch.tv/CoreyNHD. I'm going to try to get some streaming in this week.
This will not be this
funny. You can find me on Nintendo Power Block, where we're giving away Diablo 3 for Nintendo Switch. We're giving it away on the 16th, so get your questions in at NintendoPowerBlock@gmail.com and subscribe to Nintendo Power Block's YouTube page. Those are the entry rules. If you don't do one or the other, you're not entering the contest. So some people really have an issue trying to figure that out. So if you want that, just subscribe and send us a question. You can even tweet us a question at Nintendo_PBlock on Twitter. And you can also find me on Arsenal X, which is our Xbox podcast. And yeah, download Nerd Gone Rogue every Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time on your podcast service of choice, and stream us on Spotify and iHeartRadio, and watch us on YouTube. You should subscribe to our YouTube page. It's a good time.
Leave us an iTunes review. Tell us we suck or tell us we're awesome. I'll take either.
No, just tell us we're awesome.
Okay.
We don't. If you tell us we're bad, we're not going to believe you because we know we're awesome.
Love the projection of confidence, Corey.
Right.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Banana and out. And Moose doesn't want to say you're welcome anymore, so I'll just end the broadcast.